Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome back to another On the Road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop! Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. Today we're looking at a Whirlpool single wall oven, and the complaint is that the temperatures are incorrect during the bake cycle. So we've tested the temperature probe, which we've determined that the temperature probe is faulty and will need to be replaced. Alright, so to gain access to components, we're going to need to pull the wall oven out. So the first thing we want to do that is remove the door. For this repair, you will need a Phillips screwdriver, a flat blade screwdriver, and a 1/4 inch nut driver. Just going to open the door and we're going to pull up on these clips on the hinges, and then we're going to bring the door back up, and once it gets to about this position here, and once we get to right here, we can lift it up and out. Alright, we went ahead and turned off the breaker to the unit. Now we're going to remove the 2 Phillips screws here, securing it in place. Alright, so to gain access to our temperature probe, it's going to be in the back here, so we're going to remove our back cover, and there's just a bunch of 1/4 inch screws to remove. Alright, to get the temperature probe out, we're going to need to remove our broil element. And to do that, there's 2 Phillips screws for the element. And there's going to be these arms of the broil element that go into notches on the ceiling here. I'm just going to pull it forward, and that'll come down, and then the broil element will come down. You don't need to fully remove it if you don't want to. You just take it out far enough to be able to gain access to the temperature probe there. And there's going to be 1 Phillips screw holding the probe in place, and you could have taken this out before we brought the element down if you wanted to. After we release the harness on the back of the oven, the old temperature probe will come out. Alright, so we're just going to release this connection, which is for our temperature probe, and now from the front we'll be able to remove the temperature probe. Also, we can test the temperature probe to see if it's faulty, and we're going to put our meter to ohm setting, and we're just going to connect each lead onto each terminal here. And at room temperature, our temperature probe should be reading around 1100 ohms or so. And this one here, we're in the 1500 ohm range, which is pretty out of range there. Like I said, normally you should be in the 1100 ohm range at room temperature, give or take, plus or minus 10-15% or so. So we will go ahead and replace our temperature probe. Alright, now we should be able to pull our temperature probe right through. There we go. Alright, to install the new temperature probe, I'm just going to take a flat blade screwdriver here and kind of create an opening or a pathway through the insulation. That'll help our connector go all the way through without getting caught up between the oven and the cabinet. Alright, so once the temperature probe's all the way through and you've made sure the wiring didn't get bunched up or anything, you can go ahead and reinstall the screw. And now we can go ahead and reinstall the broil element. Just gonna line up the brackets on the element to those 2 grooves in the ceiling and slide it back and reinstall our 2 Phillips screws. Alright, now at the back of the unit we'll just have to reconnect our temperature probe into the harness here. And if you don't need to pull the oven out, you can also, to save yourself some work, you can actually test this sensor to see if it's good. At the control board, you just have to find on the schematic where the 2 pinouts are and test it that way. Alright, now we can go ahead and put the back panel back on. Alright, we'll go ahead and reinstall our oven into the cabinet. Alright, now we can reinstall our 2 screws. And now the door can go back on. So get those in there, and then we're going to bring it down. And then we're going to push these to the back. Okay, we've turned the power back on to the unit and tested out all of our components, and that will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.